Sir, step out of the vehicle, now.
I'm getting coffee. What's the issue?
The issue is you don't ask questions, you follow orders.
I haven't done anything wrong.
That's for me to decide. License and registration, move slower. I want to see your hands.
Officer Daniels had no idea what he just walked into. In the next 18 minutes, his career would end. His pension would disappear. A lawsuit worth $2.1 million would be filed. The suspicious man getting coffee was actually Judge Marcus Webb, a sitting district court judge with 22 years on the bench. Judge Webb had handled over 4,000 criminal cases. He'd written major rulings on police misconduct. He knew every law Officer Daniels was about to break. And the Bodycam was recording everything. Before I continue, let me ask you, have you ever been stopped by police for no reason? Drop your story in the comments. But Officer Daniels had no idea who he was pulling from that car. Marcus Webb was 52 years old. He was a district court judge in the 14th Circuit. He graduated from Yale Law School in 1995. He worked as a public defender for 8 years. He handled over 600 cases. In 2003, he was appointed to the bench. He was only 30 years old, the youngest judge in state history. For 22 years, Judge Webb presided over criminal cases, over 4,000 of them. He became an expert in police misconduct cases. He wrote 12 major rulings on Fourth Amendment rights. Those are the rights that protect you from illegal searches. He even taught classes at police academies. Officers learned constitutional law from him. In legal circles, people called him the cop's judge, fair but tough on violations. Judge Webb lived 15 minutes from the courthouse. He was married with 2 teenage daughters. Every Saturday morning at 8, he stopped at Joe's Coffee. Same time, same order, large black coffee. He drove a simple Honda Accord, nothing fancy. On this Saturday in October, Judge Webb just wanted his coffee. Then he had to get to his daughter's soccer game. That's it, just a normal Saturday morning. Officer Brandon Daniels had a reputation in his precinct. Brandon Daniels was 34 years old. He'd been on the force for 9 years, still just a patrol officer, never promoted. That should tell you something. In 9 years, Daniels received 17 complaints. 15 of those complaints involved black people. 0 resulted in discipline, not 1. The department did nothing. In 2019, Daniels pulled over a black businessman. He claimed suspicious behavior. He held the man for 40 minutes. No ticket was issued. The complaint was dismissed. In 2021, another traffic stop went bad. Daniels arrested someone. The charges were dropped by the prosecutor. The city paid $15,000 to settle. Daniels got additional training. That's it. 4 months before this incident, Daniels detained a black teenager right in this same coffee shop parking lot. He accused the kid of loitering. The father showed up. The father was a lawyer. Daniels let the kid go. The staff at Joe's Coffee knew him. They called him that cop with an attitude. The manager had filed complaints about him. He'd intimidated customers 3 times before. Internal Affairs had an open file on Daniels, but the police union protected him, so they just assigned him to quiet Saturday shifts. This Saturday morning, Daniels picked the wrong person. This time, there would be no quiet settlement, no additional training, no second chance. Type justice if you think 17 complaints with 0 discipline is wrong. Saturday, October 14th, 2023, 8:07 in the morning. Joe's Coffee sat in a suburban strip mall, a middle-class neighborhood. Families and young professionals lived here. The parking lot had 12 spaces. Half were full that morning. It was a cool autumn day. Leaves were falling. Inside, the smell of fresh coffee filled the air. Light jazz played softly. Saturday morning regulars chatted. Kids in soccer uniforms picked up orders with their parents. Sarah Chen was working the counter. She was 23, a college student. She'd worked there 3 years. Mike Torres was the manager. He was 38, a former teacher. He knew Judge Webb by sight. 8 customers were inside. 4 cars were in the drive-through line. At 8:07, Judge Webb pulled into the center parking spot. He wore a Georgetown Law hoodie, jeans, casual Saturday clothes. He grabbed his wallet, locked his car, headed toward the entrance. 30 seconds later, a patrol car pulled in. Officer Daniels had been sitting at the intersection, watching traffic. He saw Judge Webb. He followed him into the parking lot. No traffic violation had occurred. No one had called 911. No reason for a stop. Daniels got out of his car. His hand rested on his holster. He called out. Judge Webb turned around, confused but calm. Inside, Sarah Chen looked up. She saw what was happening. She'd seen Officer Daniels before. She pulled out her phone. She started recording. If you want to see how this ends, hit that subscribe button now. Sir, stop right there. Is there a problem, officer? I'll ask the questions. What are you doing here? Getting coffee. I live 10 minutes away. This is an affluent neighborhood. You don't fit the usual demographic. I'm just getting coffee. Sure you are. ID now. Judge Webb stayed calm, but inside he knew what this was, racial profiling. He'd seen it 1,000 times in his courtroom. Am I being detained? What's the legal basis for this stop? Don't get smart with me. License and registration. Judge Webb pulled out his license, handed it over. Daniels looked at it with suspicion. This your real address? Yes. Is there a reason I'm being questioned? We've had reports of suspicious activity, cars being broken into. I haven't broken into any cars. Am I free to go? Daniels stepped closer, invading his space. I'll tell you when you can go. Officer, I'm respectfully asking, on what legal grounds are you detaining me? You want legal grounds? How about resisting, obstruction? Maybe I find something in that car. Judge Webb's voice stayed steady, but that statement crossed a line. Are you threatening to plant evidence? Watch your mouth. Step away from the vehicle. Daniels ordered Judge Webb to place his hands on the car. Judge Webb complied. He didn't resist. I'm not resisting, but I'm telling you, you're making a mistake. The only mistake is you rolling through here like you belong. I do belong here. I'm Earth. I don't care if you're the president. Turn around. Mike Torres came outside. He'd been watching through the window. Officer, that's Judge Webb. He comes here every. Get back inside. This doesn't concern you. A soccer mom in the parking lot spoke up. This is ridiculous. He's just getting coffee. Ma'am, interfere, and you'll be arrested too. Daniels forced Judge Webb's hands behind his back, started a pat-down. Judge Webb remained calm. You're violating my Fourth Amendment rights on camera. You think you're a lawyer. You people always think. You people. That phrase, you people, the words that would cost Daniels everything. Mike Torres had already called 911. Sarah Chen was still recording every word, every movement. Now here's what happened next. Daniels began the pat-down. Judge Webb had stayed quiet long enough. I'm informing you, I'm a district court judge. You're being recorded. This stop is unlawful. Daniels laughed, actually laughed. And I'm the governor. Nice try. My judicial ID is in my wallet. Check it. Daniels opened the wallet, saw the credentials. His face changed, first confusion, then panic. He tried to hand it back quickly. Sir, this is just a routine. Routine? You profiled me, you threatened me, you used a racial slur all on your bodycam. No, sir, that's not. There were reports. What reports? Give me the call number, the complaint log. I want the dispatch recording. Daniels couldn't answer. He stammered. There were no reports. He'd made it up. Mike Torres stepped forward again. Officer, I tried to tell you. Judge Webb has been coming here for 5 years. Every Saturday, he's never caused any trouble, ever. Sarah Chen held up her phone. I've got the whole thing on video. From when you pulled in, there was no traffic stop, no suspicious behavior, you just followed him. Jennifer Martinez, the soccer mom, walked over. She was an attorney. I'm a lawyer, I saw everything. That was racial profiling, unlawful detention, and you threatened to plant evidence. I heard you. 3 witnesses, 3 recordings, no way out. A sergeant pulled up, Linda Morrison. She'd responded to Mike's 911 call. She got out of her car, saw Judge Webb. She recognized him immediately. She'd been in his courtroom before. "Your Honor, what happened?" Judge Webb gave a calm, factual account. Sergeant Morrison listened. Her face showed anger, not at Judge Webb, at Daniels. She ordered Daniels to wait by his patrol car. Then she called her lieutenant, then Internal Affairs. Judge Webb made a request. "I want a copy of the bodycam footage." "You'll have it, Your Honor." He looked at Daniels. "Officer, I'll be watching what happens next very carefully." Judge Webb declined to press charges right then. He wanted to see how the department would handle it. Would they protect Daniels, or would they do the right thing? Sergeant Morrison walked to Daniels. He was sitting in his patrol car, head in his hands. He knew how badly he'd messed up. Morrison confiscated his bodycam, his dashcam. Right there on scene, she suspended him. She ordered him to surrender his weapon and badge. Daniels tried to explain. "I didn't know, he didn't say, I thought." "You had no legal reason to stop him, you know that." Officer Daniels was starting to understand, but it would be 3 days before he realized how public his mistake would become, because Sarah Chen's video was about to go everywhere. Let me know in the comments, should Daniel S. have been fired on the spot? Internal Affairs moved fast. Lieutenant James Reeves arrived. He supervised the investigation unit. Detective Maria Santos was assigned to the case. She had 15 years of experience. They opened a file. Officer involved incident number 2023-1014A. They reviewed the bodycam footage, all 18 minutes of it. They collected Sarah Chen's video, Jennifer Martinez's video too. They pulled security footage from Joe's Coffee, 3 different camera angles. They interviewed all 5 witnesses who were there. Then they checked something important. Daniels' CAD logs, that's the computer system that tracks police calls. There was no dispatch call for that area, no report of suspicious activity, nothing. They pulled his radio transmissions. Daniels never called in the stop. You're supposed to call in every stop. He didn't. That's a violation right there. Daniels' story started falling apart. He claimed he received reports of suspicious activity, but dispatch had no record of any calls, not for 72 hours, 0 calls to that location. He claimed Judge Webb was acting nervous and evasive, but the video showed something different. Judge Webb was calm, compliant. He asked clear legal questions. Daniels escalated without any reason. He claimed he didn't make it about race, but the bodycam audio told a different story. "You don't fit the demographic. You people always think, rolling through here like you belong." 3 racial comments in 8 minutes. 72 hours later, the review board met. Chief Patricia Henderson called an emergency hearing. Daniels, union rep, was there. He tried to argue it was a reasonable mistake, but the evidence was too strong. Video from 4 sources, audio recordings, witness statements, and Daniels' history, those 17 complaints, 15 involving black people, the pattern was clear. The board voted 5-0 termination. Officer Daniels was fired for cause: racial profiling, unlawful detention, threatening conduct, lying in his official report. Because of the termination for misconduct, he lost his pension. All those years, gone. The case was sent to the State Post Commission. That's the group that certifies police officers. They would decide if he could ever be a cop again. It was also sent to the district attorney for possible criminal charges. Daniels went through stages. First, denial. He claimed it was political, said the department was protecting the judge. Then anger. His union held a press conference. They claimed it was a rush to judgment. Then desperation. He hired a lawyer, filed a wrongful termination grievance. It was dismissed. Judge Webb declined to comment publicly at first. The police department issued a statement. "We hold our officers to the highest standard. This conduct is unacceptable." The ACLU praised the swift action, but they called for a deeper investigation, a pattern investigation. Joe's Coffee released a statement supporting Judge Webb. They banned Daniels from the property. But the consequences were just beginning, because Sarah Chen's video was about to go viral. If stories like this matter to you, make sure you're subscribed. Tuesday evening, 6 p.m., Sarah uploaded the 11-minute video to TikTok. Her caption read, "Cop harasses black judge getting coffee, watch till the end." By 7 p.m., 1 hour later, it had 50,000 views, 2,000 shares. By 9 p.m., local Twitter picked it up. The hashtag #JudgeWebJustice started trending. By 11 p.m., big accounts shared it. Sean King, Cardi B, others, 500,000 views. By 2 a.m. Wednesday, 8 hours after posting, it hit 2.1 million views. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. By 8 a.m., 14 hours later, local news covered the story. They interviewed Judge Webb. By noon, 18 hours in, national coverage began. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all running segments. By Thursday, 48 hours total, 8.7 million views, international coverage. The numbers were massive. On TikTok alone, 8.7 million views, 1.2 million likes, 340,000 shares. On Twitter, the hashtag coffee while black trended #1 nationally. Instagram Reels added 2.3 million more views. YouTube news clips got 4.1 million combined views. Reddit put it on the front page of 4 different communities. People were outraged. Comments poured in. One civil rights lawyer wrote, "This is exactly why bodycams matter. Daniels thought he'd get away with it. Judge Webb knew his rights. Most people don't have that luxury." A teacher commented, "Imagine if he wasn't a judge. How many times has Daniels done this to regular people?" A Black News account posted, "A sitting judge was profiled getting coffee. In 2023, this is America." Even a retired cop weighed in, "I'm former law enforcement. This is wrong, no reasonable suspicion, no probable cause. Racial profiling, and he threatened to plant evidence, fire him." Every major news outlet covered it. Local stations, newspapers, radio shows, national networks interviewed legal experts. They all agreed, textbook Fourth Amendment violation. Chief Henderson held a press conference. "This does not represent our values." She announced a full audit of Daniels' previous stops. She promised bias training for all officers. Daniels tried damage control. His attorney released a statement. "Officer Daniels regrets the misunderstanding, but the public rejected that word, misunderstanding. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was racial profiling caught on camera." The union backtracked after the backlash. Daniels deleted his social media accounts. People were sending threats. 3 days later, Judge Webb did something Officer Daniels never expected. He filed a federal lawsuit, not just for himself, to send a message. Drop a comment if you think this video should have gone viral. October 24, 2023, 10 days after the incident, Judge Marcus Webb filed a federal civil rights lawsuit. The defendants, Brandon Daniels, the city police department, the city itself. The claims, civil rights violation under federal law, Fourth Amendment violation, that's unlawful search and seizure, 14th Amendment violation, that's equal protection, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and municipal liability. That means the city failed to train officers and ignored a pattern of misconduct. During discovery, Judge Webb's attorneys got access to everything, Daniels' complete personnel file, and they found a pattern, 17 complaints, 15 involving black individuals, 0 discipline, ever. They also found internal emails. Department supervisors had ignored red flags for years. They knew about Daniels, they did nothing. The evidence was overwhelming, 4 videos, 12 witness statements, 87 pages of personnel records, 23 previous incident reports. The city's lawyers reviewed everything. They recommended settling. The insurance company agreed. They didn't want this going to trial. The police union refused to defend Daniels anymore, even they knew it was indefensible. An expert witness reviewed the case, a former police chief, his opinion indefensible on every level. 5 months later, in March 2024, they reached a settlement. $2.1 million total. Here's how it broke down. $1.5 million from the city, paid by taxpayers, $400,000 personal judgment against Daniels himself, $200,000 in attorney fees. But it wasn't just money. Daniels was banned from all city properties. A restraining order required him to stay 500 feet from Judge Webb. His name was added to a law enforcement misconduct database. The State Post Commission revoked his peace officer certification. He can never work as a cop in that state again. He was flagged nationally. No law enforcement agency will hire him. He had to sell his house to pay the judgment. The district attorney looked at criminal charges but declined. Not enough evidence for the criminal standard. But Judge Webb filed a complaint against the city attorney for failing to oversee problem officers. The Federal Department of Justice opened an investigation. They're looking for a pattern of civil rights violations in the entire department. The city had to change policies. All stops must be radioed in with a stated reason. Any stop over 10 minutes without a ticket gets supervisor review. Every quarter, they review stop data by race. And the Citizens Review Board now has subpoena power. 3 sergeants were disciplined. They'd ignored Daniels' complaint pattern for years. Chief Henderson announced retirement. Community pressure forced her out. Daniels tried to defend himself at first. I was doing my job. Later, he wrote an apology letter. Judge Webb rejected it. Today, Daniels works in a warehouse. He's filing for bankruptcy. His wife divorced him during the lawsuit. Judge Webb donated the entire settlement, $1 million to the ACLU for racial justice work, $500,000 to the Public Defender's Office, $500,000 to a scholarship fund for law students of color, $100,000 to the Joe's Coffee employees. His statement was simple. This was never about money, it was about accountability. April 2024, 6 months after the incident, Judge Webb stood on the courthouse steps. He'd just finished a morning session. He wore his judicial robes. ACLU attorneys stood with him, community leaders too. He spoke to the cameras. I've been a judge for 22 years. I've sent people to prison. I've granted search warrants. I've ruled on use of force cases. And in 11 minutes, I felt what it's like to be powerless, to be seen as a threat, to have your humanity denied because of your skin color. My daughters ask me a question, Dad, if it can happen to you, what happens to us? I didn't have a good answer. I've had nightmares since then, anxiety in parking lots, anger at a system I've served my entire career. I had every advantage Officer Daniels didn't expect: legal training, courtroom experience, knowledge of my rights, a career that gave me credibility, but most people don't have that. Most people comply out of fear. Most people don't know they can refuse an unlawful order. Most people don't have video. Most people can't afford lawyers. Every week in my courtroom, I see cases built on stops just like mine. And I wonder, how many were unlawful? How many were based on bias? How many people pleaded guilty because they didn't have the resources to fight? You have rights. You don't deserve to be harassed. You don't deserve to be profiled. You don't deserve to be treated as less than because of how you look. Record everything. Know your rights. Demand accountability. To the officers who do this job with integrity, thank you. This doesn't diminish your service. But to those who abuse the badge, your time is up. We have cameras now. We have witnesses. We have lawyers. And we have judges like me who will not look the other way. He thanked Sarah Chen. A 23-year-old barista had more courage than a 9-year veteran. He thanked Mike Torres, Jennifer Martinez, all the witnesses. He thanked his family. His final words stuck with everyone. I'm a judge, but that morning I was just a black man getting coffee, and that's all Officer Daniels saw. Until we change that, Until we see each other's humanity first, we'll keep repeating this story. And I'm tired of it. We should all be tired of it. This case exposed something bigger than one racist cop. Black drivers are 20% more likely to be pulled over. Black Americans are 3.5 times more likely to be searched during stops, but they're 26% less likely to have contraband found. 63% of Black Americans report being treated unfairly by police at some point in their lives. Judge Webb had advantages most people don't: legal training, resources, credibility, but most victims of profiling don't have those things, and that's the problem. So let me ask you, do we keep pretending that 17 complaints and 0 discipline is acceptable? Do we keep paying settlements with tax dollars while the officers who caused them face no consequences? Do we keep waiting for the next viral video before we admit we have a problem? Because if we don't fix the accountability gap, if we don't reform the system, then we're just waiting for the next Brandon Daniels, the next Marcus Webb, the next $2 million lawsuit that shouldn't have to exist. Comment below if you believe officers who lie in reports should face criminal charges. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. We're going to keep exposing these stories. We're going to keep demanding better. We are going to keep fighting for accountability, for transparency, for justice. This isn't just about one racist cop or one black judge getting coffee. It's about all of us and the system we are willing to tolerate. Officer Daniels lost his badge, but until the system that protected him for 9 years changes, we haven't really won. We've just delayed the next case. See you in the next one.